Good morning and welcome to week 3. As you've noticed, I do try to put the next week up at least early in the previous week so that you can work a little bit ahead. I don't necessarily want you working 2 and 3 weeks ahead, primarily because the discussion boards are set up to be done during that week of time. And so while I don't have a problem with you doing the hard work, the book work ahead of time, the discussion boards really need to be done during that week. So please don't work too far ahead. And I'm going to try to keep you guys on a somewhat short leash, just so that you guys don't get too far ahead and have too many questions come up before we even get to that point in the semester. So anyways, we're at week 3. We're starting the second part of reading and evaluating research. For those of you that are far along in your program of study, you might think, wow, there's a lot of beginning information here that is kind of below me. I'm further along in my study, so I really don't need to have all of this information. This class is designed to be one of the first classes that you take in your program of study, and so that's why we do a lot of the basic how to do a keyword search, those types of things, because this class is designed to be done early on in your program of study. There was a question in the Ask the Professor discussion post about, it seems like we're doing a lot of things, like we're reading the same set of articles and doing a lot of work with these same 5 articles over this next 2 weeks. It seems a little repetitive. In the past, I've actually had you guys select 10 articles over the course of weeks 2 and 3, but those articles weren't really getting read closely, so I narrowed it down to 5. And the reason I have you doing the 12-step analysis, the annotated bibliography, and the article grid is because as you get further along and you get into your synthesis in PES 798 or PES 795, the thesis, depending on which route you take, your synthesis or your thesis advisor is going to have you collect and organize your articles differently. Some professors really like the annotated bibliography, and if you've never done that before, then you're kind of clueless as to how to do that at that point in your time. And so one of the things we have you do is in week 2, I have you do a short annotated bibliography so you understand how to do that. So if you do get one of those professors that really likes the annotated bibs, then you know how to do that further down the line. The article grid is something that all synthesis students need to know how to do, because these article grid will be included in your final synthesis. Although I have seen some synthesis projects use only an annotated bibliography. So again, depending on your advisor, you're going to need to know how to do those particular data collection type grids. And so this is really set up to help you understand how to do that. So, please forgive some of the repetitiveness if you feel like this information is below where you think you should be. But this class is a beginning class. It is an intro class to research, and so that's what we're doing. We're introducing you to the research process. All right, so as far as reading and evaluating research for this week, you're going to be doing a couple of things with regards to data management that I think you're going to kind of like, but then at the same time you're going to think is somewhat repetitive and redundant. Part of this week is to be able to properly use the APA manual. I'm also introducing you to Zotero, which is an electronic library where you can store all of the materials on a particular topic. I wish I had this when I was in school. It would have made my life a lot easier. I used something similar called NoodleBib, but Zotero is kind of one-stop shopping. You don't have to fill up your flash drives with articles. You can store everything right there on Zotero. So do work your way through the Zotero activity, create your library in Zotero. But then as you export it in the APA 6th edition, you're actually going to go to the data tables in the APA manual, and you're going to correct any typos that the Zotero creates when it spits out your bibliography. For as awesome as Zotero is, it's not 100% accurate, and so it's still your responsibility, the student's responsibility, to make sure that all references are done properly. And so you're going to get into the APA manual. You're going to correct any of the references, and then you're going to notate which page in the manual you found that information. This is the 6th year that I've done this activity, and usually, for as tedious as it is, students appreciate really knowing with finality that they know how to cite and reference their work. And so that's why we get into this textbook in this reference manual. So you're going to actually go through and correct any of the references that Zotero spits out. You'll correct those and notate the proper page from this book in your part 2. There's also an advanced APA tutorial that you'll take part in, and you'll just follow the link, and you'll do the self-enrollment in the APA tutorial. You'll need to print out your certificate when you're done and attach it to part 2 of your learning activity for the week. Remember, I want part 1 from last week and part 2 from this week combined to make one document for your assignment for the week. It seems like you're doing a lot of work, but this is really the foundation that you need to get a firm understanding on how to search for your topics and how to really read and understand what you're reading. And so we need to spend a lot of time on this early on so that it becomes second nature to you as the semester goes. So that's about it for the week. It's pretty self-explanatory. So if you have any questions, remember to reach out in the Ask the Professor page. I am trying to get back to those within the day, but you might want to subscribe to that forum just to make sure that when students post a question, you can see what that question is, and then when I post the answer, you'll also see that I've answered it. So it'll help you stay updated with regards to the questions that arise throughout the summer. So that's all I've got. I hope you enjoy the week. The summer is quickly winding. It's moving at a pretty good clip right now. So I just hope you're able to stay caught up. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask those. Have a great day.